Good afternoon. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Lab.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead. It is Thursday, one more day, and then Memorial Day weekend, and everyone's off to have some fun, I hope. As far as today's action, pretty much what we thought, right? After a big move over the course of the last week, you would think that the indices needed to relax, what we call an inside day, kind of like the inside day we had on Monday after the Thursday-Friday move. So now the question is, tomorrow, do we get another inside day, or do we potentially take out two-day resistance and get the headline saying 2,100 in the S&P for the big weekend? Or does Yellen come out and shake things up and or the headline's going to be after a big week, market closes off highs, couldn't get above 2,100. We'll figure that out tomorrow. But for the day though, there was lots of nice targeted moves and some things in our arena acted well. So hopefully you guys had a decent day, even though the indices were kind of flat. Let's just get right into it. The S&P. Big move since this double bottom low, and then you reclaim the 8-21 day, and here is where the new uptrend was born. Okay, back to resistance, right? This was resistance right here. That's when tech earnings weren't so hot. A lot of stocks got holes in their charts. Things started to break down. No leadership, pulled back. Looked as if we were going to have this head and shoulders top formation. Then all of a sudden on Thursday, what happened? A red dog reversal. We took back this 2034. That was your time to, if you were thinking short because of this breakout failure, switch some gears here. Then you had a little inside move here. We talked about this micro descending channel that it broke above on Tuesday. Then the more macro descending channel here that it wound up clearing. So now here we are. I'm holding above this prior pivot, this prior point of reference. So the question is, will we have enough juice to head into the weekend to take out this inside day to the upside? I hope so. I'm leaning long, and I'm hoping tomorrow we don't open down and then take this out to the downside. Some guys were pointing out how here you had a doji and then opened up and then you took out the prior low and then it caused a bit of corrective, a little correction. Does that happen here? I don't know. The action today told me that it seems as if we could continue to rest or things are pretty constructive. You look at technology, the Qs still was green. They couldn't even hold that back. We talked about, can the Qs start to be a tailwind versus a headwind? Okay, the Qs in technology became a headwind when it broke this ascending channel to the downside, and then right here, it was reborn. Took back all the moving averages in one swoosh. And now, held higher, and we'll see, does this lead us back towards the highs of the year? At this point, it's above all the moving averages, acting much better. IWM, what are you doing? Inside day, can't go up every single day. Inside days are actually healthy. Here's that descending channel. Here's your red dog reversal right there. Broke above. Inside action, which is kind of good. Let's see if it stays there, and then if it stays there for another session or so, maybe it continues. The banks had a little bit of an off session with, not exactly sure, why it was so, so much, but, at this point, still not the end of the world. This was when, you want to be long and entries and exits matter, and we talk about when you get extended from the 8-21 day, you got to be careful. So from here to there, this was when we were buying, here's your buying, here's your add, there's your day 3, so down day today, no big deal. Guys saw me take off JP Morgan yesterday. Why did I take JP Morgan off yesterday? Not because I don't think it's done, because this was the strategy. Here is your, can it hold this from the note? Buy tier 1, add tier 2, get paid, get out, and now, we'll see what happens here. It's still well above the 8-21 day, but it's extended. Okay, everything has to kind of come back and pull back and touch. So does this move in the banks tell you that Yellen's going to be dovish tomorrow and the market's going to fail tomorrow? I don't think so. I just think that it had a big move and money rotated a little bit. So in our arena, though, it was nice to see some stocks perk up. Facebook early on showed some relative strength. I did buy it early. The VTF saw me buy it. Not exactly sure when, but I was pretty much in it all day. There's not much of a pattern here to look at, but it did hold the prior breakout and did perk up, and it's back above the moving averages, and you would think that at some point it makes new highs on year. I think got involved when it was up like 30 cents, and then when it took out this 118.67, that was actually, I think, when it started to act a little bit better. So it closed okay. Let's see if it continues. Amazon also acted a little bit better. I'm long a little Facebook overnight, by the way. Amazon, came back, pulled back, held this gap. We talked about this wedge type of formation in here, and can it go back to highs? Well, it closed near the highs of the day. To me, if they want to flex the muscles of the market, this is best in breed. You would think it could take out the highs. I am long a little bit of this. Not a lot. Okay, Facebook I was in all day, Amazon towards the end, and Tesla was really where I made my money today. Every now and then if I post a chart on Twitter, it's typically a good setup. Okay, I don't always post charts of stocks on Twitter. I usually just post the S&P or the spiders or some ETFs, give you a roadmap of the day. But whenever I see a setup and I have some time, I post a chart because typically it means it's a name that's in my arena that has a setup. And if you look here at Tesla, Tesla was a good setup. Tesla, got hit here. We talked about it when this wedge broke to the downside. I guess that's when they had to bring the stock in to price the secondary in the hole. Well, here it priced it. Okay, then held price here for a little bit. This 215-ish. So I was thinking, the market's going to be good. They got the secondary out of the way. This has been a very strong stock. You know what? It gets above 221. Let's buy some. So I bought some, pre-market. I bought some when it took out 221, and I pretty much held it all day. And looks pretty good. I'm hoping, that this sees a move up towards 230, 233. Why not? It closed on the highs. It took back the moving averages. It's a good setup to stay long. We'll see if it, if it continues or it's a trap. Hopefully it's not a trap. We've had enough traps in the last week or so. So if you look intraday also, there was also a decent cash flow trade. If you want to just show, like a lot of people want to see, like what, how do you trade inside action? Well, here was your move, which took a little bit of time. This was your first move, and then really this is when it decided that it was going to be strong. Okay, here was like the anticipation factor. Came up, held. This was your spot to get into your position. Gave you a quick move, which you could have sold some into the afternoon. Okay, and then it consolidated all day. Consolidated all day while the market hung around, and then if you went from like just say tier 1, tier 2 back to tier 1, came in, and then all of a sudden when it took out the high of the morning, you can get back into a cash flow tier, which is what I did. I actually tweeted about it. Then I sold some a little bit there, came in, and then closed on the highs of the day. So I'm in it. I wasn't in it last night, and I don't have as much as I had intraday, but hopefully that's, you get a little bit of follow through. That's what we look for as traders, a little bit of follow through. Elsewhere, Apple, I shorted it early on and then made a little bit of money and then covered. Thank goodness it's still trending up. It's in the earnings gap. Very, very impressive that it can continue to do so. Earnings gap goes all the way up to here. If you want to look at the 3-minute chart of how you could have, got away from it if you were thinking short on the brain. So here was basically the first move. I actually anticipated it on the VTF. I got short while it was up, and then it had this quick move here. I shorted more. Okay, this was the prior high. Then into this move, I added some to the downside. And then on this little 5-minute bar, I covered but stayed short, and then it consolidated all day. And then I said, I'm going to get out of it if it breaks above this, afternoon wedge. So this good trade turned into a trailer that I got stopped out at, and then it went up for the rest of the day. And then maybe we'll try that again tomorrow. So that's how you use your intraday tactics. All in all, though, very healthy. Some guys also made good money shorting Netflix. Netflix was up $4 after 5 up days. You don't chase that long, and it went almost negative. Still hung in there, but it was a better short than long. You had to trade it versus a 5 or 15-minute high and just put your hands off the keyboard. What else did people do today? What else? The gold. Gold and the miners. Yesterday had a reversal into big support, opened up, and you had to get out of there pretty quick. Both of these sectors are pretty broken. The GLD still, couldn't find much traction here. So hopefully, you're out of the way. This is when the 8 and the 21 day broke to get you out of GLDs. Okay, then you had a little reversal. It opened up and failed. I would not be long the metals. Okay, this looks as if it's going to try and test a 200 day at some point. The GDX also gave you a red dog reversal yesterday, and then I actually told you where resistance was going to be into the moving averages, and here was your good long. You had a little bit of follow through, and then it failed, kind of like what happened here. You had a good long, little follow through, and then turned lower. And right now it's below the 8 and 21 day, not above it like it was when it was strong. This is when this trend broke right there. So all in all, you're going to hear a lot of banter of, is this time different? Can we break above 2100, go above 2130, and have a really nice run into the summer? Right now it's anyone's guess. I do think that we have more constructive stocks. We have things that are acting better. We have good participation. Does it happen tomorrow? I don't know. Is there good individual stock tactical plays here and there, yes. We had them a few times. Today it happened to be Tesla and Facebook. The other day, or a few days ago, it was Apple when it was not as extended. And then you also had some indices. We talked about whether we can get above 2062 on, I think, Tuesday, and it blasted off. So there's lots of things to do. Sperling's been in some bios. We've had we've had a lot of things going on. So, what you don't want to do is tomorrow put yourself in a position to ruin your week or ruin your vacation weekend or your holiday weekend. And then especially tomorrow into the close, you don't want to be too short or too long if it's going to worry you, while you're sitting at the beach or in the mountains or playing with your kids or having fun with your girlfriend or whoever it is. So, with that said, I will be in Short Hills tomorrow. I'll be on the VTF. I'll have, I'm probably going to be out midday, come back to the office, listen to what Yellen had to say, and figure out what to do. So you'll hear from me, but it'll be a little bit less. Hopefully you had a great week. Ever since the Red Dog reversal last Thursday, I feel like a lot of guys did much better. We've had a very calculated move, less misdirections, less randomness, and more probability or high probability setups that we could interpret and trade and get some follow through with. And we'll see if that continues. Have a great night and have some beverages, have some fun, and maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.